5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 97 of the official LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships podcast, Beauty, Strength, and Dominance. And joining me today, LFC CEO, my buddy, my pal, Mr. Shaun Donnelly. Shaun, it's a pleasure, as always, to have you on the show. How are you?
It's great to hear from you, Mike.
Well, first and foremost, a lot is going on in the world of LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships. First and foremost, coming off an amazing show with LFC 31 Booty Camp 2. Miss Selena is the new Booty Camp champion.
Yeah, I thought that was one of our best shows so far. And Selena and Katie were a hell of a main event, but there wasn't a bad fight on the card.
Not at all. I look at it from a stance, too, first and foremost, in regards to Selena and Katie. One thing that a lot of people tend to forget with that one, how about Leon being in the middle of that? I think he got himself a handful, you know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
Of course, I'm directing, I'm behind the screens, but, watching that and, watching how careful he was where he was going to touch, I found it hilarious.
Left hand blue. It's like a game of Twister is what that was.
Yeah.
Well, I also look at it from a stance too, Shaun. Before we even got to that, I mean, Jolene gets the victory over Shelby Panther Paris. And Shelby, great debut, a great showing. But I got to say, she had some words for you after that bout, Mr. Shaun Donnelly.
Yeah, she mentioned she wants to. I think she was complaining about her opponent, but you got to understand these are booty camp events where we bring up prospects to fight our veterans. There's no prospect we can bring up who's going to fight and give Jolene the fight she deserves. But yeah, she did call me out, but it was more that she wants. I think she was mad she didn't get to fight for the booty camp championship, and she hasn't fought yet for the main event championship. So. But I was listening, and a bit of a spoiler alert. She will be fighting for the title in Sturgis. She'll be given that opportunity.
Awesome, and I also look at it from a stance too. Well, first and foremost, I mean, Jolene did beat Allie in a tremendous bout. A great last showing for Allie Baby Doll Parks at the last Sturgis event, and like you said, going for the booty camp title. I mean, when you're going against someone like Selena, like hell, come on now.
Yeah, Selena was a great addition, and it was nice getting Katie back. And, everything just kind of came together for that show. It turned out, some challenges, of course, with not being allowed an audience, but, in some ways, it's a challenge, but in some ways it's also an advantage. And for the pay-per-view product, I thought it turned out extremely well.
Agreed, and I look at it from a stance, too. Like, we haven't had a weigh-in since, LFC 25, and here we are. The weigh-in also added a lot to it as well.
That's right. We're actually working on, I want to do weigh-ins in Sturgis. So just trying to see how that's going to look, and where whether we can do it on the stage before the bands come on, or if it's in one of the bars at the Chip. But we'd like to do something.
Of course, and I mean from a stance too, it's the big fight feel atmosphere, and I also look at it as well. Like we were talking about a lot of the new girls that we saw at the last LFC 31 Booty Camp too. I got to say, Vita Von Star, who is from Ring of Honor, and Gemma Jersey Babe Juliana, another return. I got to say, I was really impressed with both of them. But Vita, what a hell of a debut!
Yeah, Vita was, I was really surprised at how well the prospects did. Now obviously she has a lot of experience in wrestling, but, a lot of times when you come over to LFC and, the kind of the hybrid of wrestling and MMA that we are, sometimes new fighters struggle. But at this event, the new fighters did very well.
Agreed wholeheartedly, and I also will say this, like we mentioned Leon in the main event, my God. So Bella Inc. and another return, Audrey Mongoose Monique. It was great to see Audrey, but man, Audrey got her hands on Leon, going after him after the bout, rear naked choke by Bella. It was a hell of a night for Leon, and my goodness gracious, Audrey was not holding back in those shots.
Audrey's a handful, and I really like Audrey. but she does do some things that, she does get suspended. And what she did obviously to the coach is not acceptable. And good on Bella for defending him the way she did, because Leon's still in that, I think, really difficult situation. He got into trouble for protecting one of his fighters in the past, so he's being very careful not to touch anyone. So for Bella to come to his rescue, I thought was nice.
Of course, and I mean, with everything that's went on with Leon Hader, like you mentioned, what happened at LFC 26, I think it's a dude who's learned his lesson, and he's just trying to do the damn thing when it comes to coaching. I mean, he had a nice little sparring match, verbally sparring, when it comes to him and Shay the Fox Mazzado on another debut with Crystal White. I gotta say, the David and Goliath bouts with Shay always kills it, but my God, Crystal White, what a tall specimen, and what an athlete in her own right.
Oh, another great addition. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Crystal's. She had a great debut. I felt bad for Shay just because, again, Shay's always kind of mismatched. She does her best, but for whatever reason, the judges just never pick her.
Man, it's one of those things when I see Shay. Like, she's killed it against Monica at the last couple events, and Danica as well. I don't know what it is either, but it's one of those things where I'm an underdog type of guy, and I'm like, you know what? I got to root for the underdog, but it's the judge's decision at the end of the day. For me, I was just kind of like, you know what? Man, I'm hoping she wins, but either way, she came out a winner because they both killed it.
Yeah, but, what did you think, Mike? Who did you think won that fight?
I'll be honest with you. See, now you're going to put me on the spot, Mr. Shaun Donnelly, and I'll go on the spot here, and I will take the spot. I saw both. They both kicked each other's butts. I mean, we saw roundhouse kicks, we saw suplexes, we saw strikes. For me, I got to say, Crystal was the dominant one, but if I had to pick between the two, and I love Shay to death, but I myself would have gone with Crystal, but it would have been a tough choice. That's all I'm going to say. I have to put it like that.
Yeah, I think I was, I thought it was a close enough fight that you kind of give Shay the benefit of the doubt as the veteran. So if I, obviously I have no say in the judging, but if I was one of the judges, I probably would have leaned towards Shay.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, it was a tough one, but for me, I just leaned more Crystal because I'm watching this. I'm like, all right, we got the specimen. We got Shay the specimen in her own right. It's a tough one. It's always one of those ones, like, I'm going to say this straight up. When it comes to Shay, she's a tough one to judge. It really is. And that's the thing about what's great about these LFC events, because when it comes to the judging standpoint, and we had three amazing judges with Trap Gambino, we had Onyx, a.k.a. Bronco Billy, and we had Whoop Dog in the house. Like, it's a tough one to really go from their standpoint. Like, for me, like I said, when I'm there and I hopefully do some judging spots, man, it's a tough one for everybody around, because everybody goes out there and works their butts off, and that's why I'm so happy to just see this product continue to flourish.
Yeah, I really enjoyed your show with Trap. That was an entertaining interview.
Thank you very much. And Shaun, well, you get to follow up with that, because I got to ask you in respects to that. Trap is opening his own gym for the LFC ladies. How awesome is that?
It sounds really cool. I don't have a lot of information yet. So I'm supposed to have a call sometime this week with Trap's partner, Shaun, who I've met. Great guy. So I don't have a lot of details at this point. It was kind of brought up at a dinner meeting, sort of right after LFC 31, about a day later. So now, it's kind of getting all the information and seeing what we can put together.
First and foremost, I think that's great because, again, it adds another gym for everybody to train at and, record some stuff, whether it just be for the show and what have you. I think he has a great idea and he has a great knowledge of what he wants to do. And you got guys like Shonoff and a lot of the trainers and coach he wants to bring in. For me, I'm excited for it. I think it adds a lot for the LFC product.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited about it. I just don't have a lot of information yet.
Well, I will say this about Mr. Trap Gambino, Mr. Shaun Donnelly, because I love you, and I love me some Trap, but god dang, man, every time this dude is judging, always some drama happens, man, because we saw Veronica Payne, VP, another amazing debut, Jenny Bloody Valentine, she gets thrown onto the table, right up in Trap's face, we saw Onyx get involved a little bit with Trap, man, it was a chaos in that bout.
Yeah, Trap definitely seems to bring out some big reactions from people. I mean, I knew going in, I knew Jenny and him, are not the biggest fans of each other. We've had a couple other fighters who have called out Trap in the past. Agatha's not a fan. Jesse wasn't a fan. But, you still have to be professional. And, I didn't think Trap did anything to cause that. I thought there was, much more on Jenny. But I guess, once you're thrown into someone's lap, if you don't like them, it's gonna lead to things.
That it did, and I will say this. Now, I'm looking forward to seeing what comes up next with Jenny. For me, I know Veronica got the win. I don't think that's the one she won in her debut with the DQ finish, but I gotta say, it opens up some more bouts between the two in the future that I can't wait to see.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that fight, and I thought another great debut, and shocking, another prospect beat a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
However it happened, I didn't expect as many prospects to win as did.
I gotta say, I like your little strategy there, because it's one of those things where it's just like we've seen prospects come in before, and I mean we've seen people like Vatira come in at LFC 26. We've seen a lot of prospects come in, but like you said so eloquently with this show, it's just like some of the best prospects like in the game. Like you said, everything from top to bottom with this show, from everyone involved. It's just one of those things where you can look back and smile. We can look about the website and smile, and we can see the reaction and we can smile because everybody really was into it.
Yeah, no, it was, like I said, I thought it was one of our best shows. We seem to be in that place right now where each show kind of tops the one before.
Agreed. And I also would like to say, first and foremost, because we are going to talk about Sturgis in a second, but one girl I have to mention, Shelby Panther Paris, and like we mentioned, the brawl with Jolene and what happened afterwards. But god dang, man, another one, Sturgis repping. She's another one I can't wait to see more of.
Yeah, born and raised in Sturgis, so, of course we're bringing her with us to Sturgis, and it's nice to have someone who can show us around. But yeah, I mean, I thought she was good in her debut. She drew a very tough opponent. I mean, you don't want to go up against the European champ in your first fight, but, it's kind of a random selection for the two teams. And, she'll get to fight some people, I think, more her level in Sturgis.
Yeah, but I also look at it from a stance, too, with her, out of the last people that we've seen come in prospects-wise, well, obviously Jolene squashed Gypsy Top Shelf Bay like a bug, and then we've seen her mostly with, we've seen her mostly going at it with Holly, like Verbal Exchange, which I definitely want to see her and Holly in the future, but god dang, man, the one that she had with Monica was great, LFC 27, but this was probably, at least I will say this, with Shelby, she gave her something to go with, because Shelby was also very dominating. She had been training, she did some work with Lucha Girls, she did some work with Evolve Fights, and here she is into the LFC auspices, and she was ready to go.
She did, but I think we both know Jolene plays a little bit.
Yeah.
She likes to. She's like a cat with a mouse. She doesn't like to kill it instantly. She likes to play with it. And I got the sense she was playing with Shelby a little bit.
Agreed. And also, this is the same woman that I know and love will probably go afterwards and take you out for ice cream after she friggin' gives you the scars of war, for God's sake. So I mean,
she's amazing. Yeah,
she is. But it's one of those things where it's like I'm scared, but I'm looking forward to it at the same time, because it's like you just beat the crap out of me, and now you want to take me for ice cream. I'm like, okay, you want to rub some salt in the wounds a little bit, but I get to have some sweetness afterwards. So it's a win-win for both sides, Sean.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, Sturgis, here we are. We're coming to it. August, man, I cannot wait. First and foremost, I got to ask you, because we have seen 2-night events for LFC. 3 nights, Sean. 3 nights, the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th of August.
Yeah, it's going to be intense, and we're going to be bringing a few extra fighters compared to what we normally show up with. So we're going to there will be a few fighters that fight all 3 nights, and there'll be others that I don't think are ready to fight 3 straight nights, so they'll get a night off. What we're probably going to do with the fighters when they have their night off, we're probably going to put them in as refs.
See, that's a smart strategy, and I will say this, because when we did LFC 20 and 29, like, back-to-back, one of those things, too, it shows the intestinal fortitude of these ladies, because, again, 2 nights of just straight-up fighting, but then we add the extra with 3, and that's a great thing to do, because we've seen Terry as a ref, which I'm sure Terry will be back for Sturgis, but god dang, man, we get to thank you. So now we get to add a lot more elements with the girls, not just from a coaching side, or in-ring side, but also the ref side, so I think it works well for everybody that gets the experience for those 3 nights.
Well, it is, and what we're also going to do, which we didn't do with Terry, because it was a last-second thing, because, the ref wasn't able, his flight didn't get through. So what we are doing is, once we decide which girls are going to be refs at which events, we're going to get all the girls together with some veteran refs and give them a little bit of a training camp for referees.
All right. Okay, I like that style. And first and foremost with referees, another thing I forgot to mention from LFC 31, I know we bounce around, we shoot the breeze as we do, but Sean, I want to see more of Sarah in there, because Sarah killed it as the ref.
That's a very popular opinion right now. We're getting a lot of comments to bring Sarah back. I think next time we're back in Vegas, in September, we'll almost for sure bring back Sarah if she's available.
I hope so, because again, as someone who's seen her work on the wrestling side of things and getting to see her as the ref, she added a lot, not just from a beauty standpoint, but she did a really good job, Shaun.
Yeah, she did.
Now, I have to ask you about one person in particular, because we did get to see Joel on Jackie O with the chain and the Zoom thing, which I thought was hilarious, and Joel is amazing as he is, and always a hilarious human being, but god dang, man, Jackie O has stated, because I had her on the show a couple episodes ago, that she definitely is looking forward to possibly participating in some LFC events in the future, so we might have some Jackie O.
We're working on that. We're going to be doing another booty camp event right after Sturgis. And, it'd be a great opportunity to get her involved as a fighter. She did a fantastic job as a coach. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, there were some technical problems at the venue, and we lost Joe fairly early. So, she wasn't fazed by it at all. She just took over.
That is a strong woman right there, so you could just take over just like that. And we also had another Jackie, which I'm going to say this right now. Such pipes, such a great artist. Jackie Mack, again, national anthem, killed it, looked beautiful, and I want to see more Jackie Mack as well, because the girl can sing, Shaun.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jackie Mack as well. Well, at LFC 31, all the new people we brought in, just right up and down the roster, from anthem singer to fighters, they were all spectacular. They were all wonderful to work with, and just, really brought it.
That they did, and I also look at it from a stance, too. Like, you talk about brought, like I mentioned Jackie O coming in. Another one I got to mention, Sturgis. The lovely Miss Mai Richards. I love me some Mai. Such a sweetheart, such a beautiful smile. I cannot wait to see what she does in ring.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing. 1 year ago she was a ring girl for our Sturgis shows. Now she's coming as a fighter. Now she'll be fighting the first night, Thursday, August 12th. She's only available to fight for one of the three shows. So we wanted her for the first one, and she's actually working at the Buffalo Chip now.
Yes.
But she's a remarkable woman. Like one kind of lasting memory of her. She showed up to be. Of course, she's the poster model there at the Chip, and she showed up to be our ring girl. And she's carrying this really heavy, like sandwich board, mm-hmm. And it was basically autographs with the poster model. And there were 100 guys there that would have gladly carried it for her. But, she's just not that type of person. If she sees something that needs doing, she's doing it herself. And I was just so impressed with her. And she recently finished her college education and moved back to Sturgis to take care of her dad. And the Chip hired her, in corporate. So, obviously they recognize talent as well.
I got to say, that's a great combination, isn't it? Right there, you got the beauty and you got the brains, because that young lady is very, very smart, and I'm very happy that she graduated.
Yeah, no, she's really an exceptional person. I told her that she's one of those people that you just know she's going to be super successful in life.
Agreed wholeheartedly. I'll be honest with you. You guys have not checked out Maya on Instagram. She's like running like 11 point X amount of miles. She's traveling. She's doing what she needs to do. It's one of those people that just loves life and just always has a smile on your face, and it's infectious. You cannot be infected by her,
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan.
Now, I'm going to say this without giving any spoilers, Mr. Shaun Donnelly. Can we expect a big bet out of Maya in regards to her opponent?
I'm not sure yet who she's fighting, but, we're going to match her with someone, that makes sense to match her with. She's going from a ring girl to her first fight, so we're not going to, and it's not a booty camp event, so we're not going to throw her at Jolene. But, I think whoever we put up against her, it's going to be a really entertaining fight, and I'm looking forward to seeing Mai in action.
Now, I will say this. I also would like to compliment and comment on the poster for LFC going into Sturgis. My goodness gracious, that poster came out absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's and that's kind of a tease poster for all three events. There will still be individual event posters, mm-hmm. and kind of like LFC 31, we're going to make sure everyone's on the posters. So, with three events, we're probably bringing 18 fighters, so we'll put 6 fighters on each poster, and I think they'll look really cool. Mayday does an amazing job, so.
He does. You got to give a shout out to Mayday, because every time I see him, that dude is an amazing artist. And I've said this on the show. I can't even draw a stick figure, Shaun. I hated going to art in school, and I'm still not the biggest fan of art, but god dang, I want to try me some art every time I see Mayday, so you got to give him some love and respect on that.
We lucked out, when we found a Mayday, or he found us, or however it worked. I know how it worked. He showed up at LFC 25 and had brought illustrations of each fighter.
Gotta love that.
And then we just, we stayed in touch, and when the next event came up and needed posters, I wasn't sure what his exact skill set was. I knew he was a good artist. And I just asked, hey, would you be interested in doing some event posters? And our event posters are, absolutely top-notch.
Agreed. And I can't compliment Mayday enough. Like I said, what we have from personnel to staff just in general, the overall LFC camaraderie experience is absolutely amazing. And speaking of absolutely amazing, I got to say this. How excited LFC champ Danica De La Rue. She's been killing it on the wrestling side of things. She's been overseas. She's back in the States doing a thing in the professional wrestling side of things. Now we get her back on the LFC side of things, possibly defending that LFC championship coming up, Mr. Shaun.
She will be defending right up first night, and she's one that will be fighting all 3 nights. Obviously, we don't know her opponents until we know results, but so there will be certainly some changing last second, depending on how things go. But if you bring Danica all the way from Seattle, you want to see her fight all 3 nights.
It's one of those things where I look at Danica, and I told her this, Shaun. It's one of those things when you're trained by the late, great Buddy Wayne, who was an enhancement talent, but a damn good wrestler, very old school. Like, she has that discipline, she has that technique, and we saw that in her bout with Shea at the last Sturgis. So I think when we get to see Danica defend that championship, it's going to be one for the memory book, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Now, I got to say this as well. We got Lauren, we got Bella back for Sturgis. Now, at the last Sturgis, it was great to see Bella back. She just come off of pregnancy. Her and Lauren killed it. I cannot wait to see Bella back because, my goodness gracious, Shaun, if you've not seen this girl's workout, these photos, she is in tremendous shape. She's just always in the gym. She's sweating. She's doing it, man.
Bella's amazing. And another one, if she can fight 3 weeks after giving birth, she can fight 3 nights in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So she's one you probably won't see reffing.
No, and it's from a stance, too. Like, again, we have Lauren on the show, and personally, like we saw her and Bella, I'd love to see her around, too. But Lauren is another one who's going to be a standout going into LFC, and Sturgis, which is another one I forgot to ask you about, because Lauren the Animal Fogel, an amazing bout with the debuting Sarah the Beast Brooke at LFC 31. She got the win with the bow and arrow. Sarah thought she tapped her out, but god dang, man, an amazing debut for Sarah, and those two really clicked with one another.
Yeah, I thought they had a great fight together, and not sure if we'll rematch them in Sturgis yet. Like I said, we very early on in starting to, we know who we're bringing. For the most part, we know who we're bringing. So now it's a matter of who we're matching, and we're also debuting the blue team in Sturgis,
yes,
which gives us a little more flexibility. So we'll be bringing some new fighters for that team. And then, if there's 2 pink fighters that really, everyone really wants to see fight, we can move one of them to the blue team, and now they can fight.
I'm not going to be biased, but I'm actually going to be biased here, Shaun. Did I mention that blue is my favorite color? So I cannot wait for the blue team, my friend.
We're all looking forward to the blue team.
Oh, my goodness. The blue team, baby. Now, how cool is that, first and foremost? Because you can kind of mix that up a little bit. We got the black team, we got the blue team, we got the pink team, we got all these different teams. Can we mix up the black team and it can be the black and blue team? Huh?
Well, that's the name of the first event, is LFC 32, black and blue.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. I did not know that till now. I cannot wait for that. Oh, my goodness. Black and blue. Here we go. All right. Shaun, that put a smile on my face in so many ways. I cannot tell you how much. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so LFC 32 is black and blue. One thing I do have to mention, you're cracking me up, I swear to God, god dang. When I look about LFC 31, and I look at what we're doing now with Sturgis, one thing I have to say, Sarah the Beast Brooke is coming back. We also have newcomers coming in. We got Mia Annabella, who I've had on the show, and we got Jezebel Romo, Lucha Girl, Santino Brothers Academy. Jezebel is another one, a tough woman, a badass woman, someone who I've been wanting to see in LFC for a while, and here we are, Shaun. How awesome is that?
Yeah, sometimes it takes a while to get someone in. We have so many fighters that to find openings sometimes is difficult. She's certainly someone who's been on our radar for a long time. I've been hoping to get her involved for quite a while, and with doing the 3 shows in 3 nights, it let us bring up bigger, more fighters than usual, and that opened the door to bring a couple new fighters like Jezebel, and excited to see her fight. You mentioned Mia Annabella. I've seen her at booty camp and seen her fight down there. She's ready to come up, so we've got a good mix of fighters.
Now, I also look at it from a stance, too. When it comes to me, I look forward to her debut. And Sarah, when it comes to Sarah the Beast Brooke, here's another one. Like, we've talked about, like, someone who's wanted to be involved with LFC in a while. And here we are. We finally got to that point. We see a lot of that with the fighters, like you so eloquently mentioned. But, Shaun, I got to say this. She lived up to the name The Beast, because that was absolute beast mode.
Yeah, the beast versus the animal, I thought, they both lived up to their names.
Hell yeah. And it's one of those things, too, where every time I see a lot of these new people, I know you said it many a times, but I smile, and we have so many of them coming into Sturgis. And one thing I will say about Sturgis, man, we can go on the website, $24.99 for all 3 pay-per-views, Shaun.
Yeah, it's a great deal. I mean, LFC 31, that was our biggest pay-per-view yet, and it was $19.95 for the single event. So for just $24.99, you get all 3 events, and we've already started selling, and already sales 3 months out.
And that's the thing, people. If you are not aboard the LFC train, Shaun, I'm going to do this. If you want to do this with me too, please, you can. It's a party, man. We could do this together. Chugga, 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 woo, woo, all aboard the LFC train. Booyah.
Well, I think I'll let you handle that one on your own, but
hey, man, I'm just saying.
I understand the sentiment.
Hey, I was about to say, this is a group effort. It's a team effort with LFC. If you want to join in, the party's always open. Join the bus, Shaun. Come on, ride the train. Ride it. You know what's up, Shaun Donnelly. Anyway, I digress. I love you. So, I got to also mention, when it comes to LFC, man, we talk about 3 pay-per-views, $24.99 on the website with Sturgis. Another thing with Sturgis, Shaun, I had to do it because I love you, and I love getting your reactions, and you always make me smile. Man, legendary professional wrestling manager Jim Cornette, last year, he was talking about the Sturgis event, and he was making fun of it because this is coming off of Chris Jericho doing the Sturgis event with Fozzy. I sent you the clip. It's great to get that exposure and people talking about us, but god dang, how funny was that, him just going buck wild on the LFC?
Oh, I thought it was hilarious. I mean, he did not come across as a fan, but that's fine. We're not for everyone. And, I just thought it was funny, and, I understood some of what he was saying. We certainly took some criticism for doing Sturgis last year in the middle, of the pandemic, but, no regrets. I mean, it went very well. We were able to do it as safely as possible, but, there were certainly some critics.
Now, I will say this, because you set yourself up for this, and you know I'm Mr. Pop Culture. When you're talking about no regrets, not even one letter, no regrets, we're the Millers, you know what's up, Shaun Donnelly. When it comes to friggin' LFC, and I look at it from a stance, too, and Jim Cornette is very much of the old school mindset. He always makes for entertaining content. But I look at it from a stance, too, like you're talking about criticism. It did happen because of what was going on with the COVID-19 and the pandemic. But I look at it from a stance, too, if you want to put that nice little spin on it, that little flavor, Shaun. We brought some smiles to people's faces in a difficult time.
Yeah, it was great. The cast had a wonderful time. I mean, we gave them every option to self-isolate it. We stayed in a hotel about half an hour from the venue, and others wanted to stay right on the grounds, and they were allowed to do that, and we paired people accordingly. But I find things are changing. Cornette, you said you mentioned he's old school. But things are just changing right now. It wasn't long ago where Dana White said women would never fight in the UFC. Mm-hmm. And that changed, and it's changing rapidly. The acceptance for LFC, I think, is changing rapidly.
And that's the thing, too, and I'm going to say this right now with LFC, and I think you can agree with me on these sentiments. We expand the horizons, and we open up some minds, man. It's what we do. It's what we do.
We do. I mean, we've had, we talked about Trap Gambino. He was not our biggest fan in the beginning, and then we brought him in as a judge. And, he's raved about us ever since, and that, this is not what I expected. This is real athletes. Like, this is amazing.
It is, and I also look at it from a stance, too, with Sturgis again this year. I mean, we still got some stuff to worry about. I mean, all of us are getting vaccinated, and the vaccinations are out there. So it's better than we were last year, but it's a work in progress. But I got to say, when it comes to this year, it's a lot better feeling going into it than last year. Because there still are some concerns, but I got to say, this year there's a little bit more hope and more positivity.
Well, things are changing so quickly. I mean, right in your neck of the woods, full packed house watching the Carolina Hurricanes win a playoff game. So it's changing quickly, which is nice to see.
Yeah, man, you had to bring that up, man. The Hurricanes, man. The Hurricanes. See, I see you know what's up. But no, Carolina Hurricanes and New York Islanders. See, that's a tough one for me because I'm a New Yorker, but I'm here in the Carolinas, so I got to go there, man. It's like when you have the Panthers and you got the Jets, man. You're making me choose. I don't like it, but I got to do it,
Yeah.
Now, Shaun, I will say this to you as well. Besides the fact that you're making me all emotional when it comes to hockey, other things have been happening when it comes to lingerie fighting championships. The big news that came out, and I've got the email for this, it is on the Lingerie FC website. Glow producer Johnny Cafarella joins LFC. I'm excited for this as a fan of Glow, the original series, and the Netflix series. This is a big coup for LFC.
It's amazing. It's something we've been wanting to do for a long time. Johnny came out, Johnny lives in Minnesota, and he came out at his own expense to LFC 20, way back in LFC 20 at the Hard Rock. And, he just wanted to check it out and, introduced himself afterwards. I was honored to meet him, because I knew, like, every mistake I'm about to make, Johnny's already made. So we wanted to work together then, and then the Netflix thing happened with Glow. Johnny got, involved in that, wasn't able to work, with anything that would be deemed as competition. And, unfortunately, the show got canceled because of COVID. It was supposed to get picked up for a fourth season, and then they changed their mind with, the long delays because of COVID. So he became a free agent again, and we were able to bring him aboard.
I look at it from a stance, too, because we got a lot of great fighters being in there, from Jolene to Lauren to Shay. And what's cool about it, too, is we were talking about this before we came on air. People could go to the website and go to lingeriefc.com/joinlfc. There's a lot of casting there as well for everybody who wants to be a part of the cast.
Yeah, with Johnny was brought in specifically. We have a show we want to do together, around the LFC, and, it's kind of a, LFC meets Glow sort of thing. And, we just know we'll need more characters, more people for that show. So we recently, put out a casting call for it. And, it just went up a day or two ago, and we're getting some great response already.
And one quote I got to mention that he did say, which is very apropos. I've always felt LFC was poised to become this generation's Glow. Here's why I love that. Because back in the 80s, Glow was so popular. You have the girls being trained by Mondo Guerrero. We have the Netflix series. Glow always had that great dominant, very strength, and very powerful and beautiful women. And LFC really incorporates that. It's a flavor on what women's wrestling was in the 80s during the golden age time period of professional wrestling. Yeah,
and a lot of people don't remember how big Glow actually was, how successful that show actually was. Estimates are in its peak, it was being watched by 7 million people a week. Mm-hmm. Those are huge numbers.
Agreed.
So, if we can get LFC, going in that type of direction, and, Johnny's, I think, a great addition to help us get it where, we all think it can go.
Agreed. And back in the day, David McLean was doing something right with the 80s. If you got 7 million people watching, and then the popularity of Wow Women of Wrestling that was on Access TV for a little bit, you're doing something right when you got 7 million people watching the product.
Absolutely.
That's the thing, and I always look at it from a stance, too. Like, professional wrestling is an art form. LFC, MMA, everything's an art form. We all provide our different flavors to it, and I think that's what's great about what we do with the overall product and what we do from a standpoint. Bringing people in, bringing the eyes in, getting the ears open, man. We're doing everything with the 5 senses except for tasting, man. We're not to that taste level yet, but hey, man, that's what I'm saying. We're bringing in everybody from all around, Shaun.
Well, and if you look at, today compared to when Glow was big, we have advantages. Mm-hmm. Glow didn't have the social media following. It just didn't exist back then. So, you come to, a show like LFC where, we have videos with, 25 million views. So it kind of positions us a little differently, and, I think some advantages. Glow was an amazing product, an amazing show for the time. But there's a lot of things we can do with LFC that are kind of in the same sort of realm as Glow.
Agreed wholeheartedly. Now, man, you're talking about back in the day with social media. There wasn't any social media in the 80s, but I got to ask you, Shaun, because we're talking about the 80s, the golden time period. Did you have yourself some of that big hair, Shaun? Did you have that big hair rocking, Poison style? What were you doing with your hair there, Shaun?
I had a little bit longer hair and the part down the middle.
I like your style. It's very like picture Hot Tub Time Machine when they go back to the 80s. You were that guy, man. You were that guy at the ski resort. That was you with the long hair.
Well, I think I was named for Sean Cassidy, so I had kind of the Sean Cassidy look going.
I like your style. I like that a lot, Mr. Sean Cassidy. All right. Now, Chuck, I have a mental image. Give me a second. So when it comes to what we had back in the day to where we are now, it's amazing just to see the technology, the evolution of what we've seen for professional wrestling, for all combative natures of sport. And I got to say this as well, because LFC, not just in Sturgis, we got a lot more shows coming, man. Mexico.
Yeah, after we're going to go from Sturgis to we'll come back to Vegas for another booty camp. It's going to be shot in 3D, so it's booty camp 3D. And then I'm really excited. And for Halloween weekend, we're getting on a bus and we're going to Mexico to do shows on the 29th and 30th.
I also look at it, what's very cool about that is, too, like, we've done Bratislava, we've done international. We're internationally known, and we're known to rock a microphone, Shaun. But when it comes to Mexico, from Lucha Libre, from everything that's encompassed with combative nature in sports, we have a lot to work with when it comes to Mexico, Shaun.
It's going to be cool. I mean, as you know, we're going to be doing a lucha show. We're going to call it Lucha Lingerie. And we've got some girls who are already working on their masks. And there was every now and then we get contacted by lucha wrestlers and they want to join LFC, but they want to wear the mask. And of course, we're all about the beauty. So we don't, we've never allowed masks. But we thought, it's Halloween, it's Mexico, we just got to do it.
Agreed.
So we're going to do some really cool masks around the girls' nicknames and, have a lot of fun with it.
What I also like about it, too, is like you said, because we never cover the faces, but we're doing it with the masks. What's cool about it, too, is that's lucha tradition, though, man, and you get to see the tradition and the history behind the masks.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, it's just a really good opportunity for the fighters to express themselves, and they're, even greater chance than without the mask.
Agreed. And I think from a stance, too, when it comes to what we got coming in Mexico and just in general, man, when it comes to Halloween, as you know, man, Day of the Dead, the whole nine, man, it's going to be some spookiness, man. It's going to be some spooky, hocus pocus. It's all going to be all in one when it comes to Mexico Halloween time.
Well, it's funny because I wanted to do 3 shows there. I wanted to do one on Halloween Day itself. But the venue, kind of talked me out of it, said they really didn't want to do a show on a Sunday. So you got to respect that. So we're doing the Friday, Saturday, and then on the Sunday, we're going to go to the beach and shoot our calendar.
Man, that is going to be exciting times from the calendar standpoint, and especially when it comes to the weather and overall ambiance of Mexico. I cannot wait to see how that goes down in the calendar style of things.
I just can't wait because it's going to be so easy. Our calendars have tended to be very elaborate. Mm-hmm. As you know, we did movies one year. We did, this past year, we did cars and bikes, which, doesn't sound like a big deal until you have to put it together. And, this girl asked for, a 1929 Charger. So now you got to go find that, and then you got to find a place that'll, that's suitable for shooting it, and you got to arrange the car schedule with the venue schedule with the girl schedule. So this is just, the beach is there. I don't have to bring any sand. We just show up and shoot.
Oh, my goodness. I cannot wait. It's an exciting time to be an LFC fan. It's an exciting time to be a part of LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships. And, Shaun, I'm going to say this right now because I put that mental image to what I have on my computer, man. I got to say this because it's going to be bugging me. If I don't say it, I got to say it. God dang, man, I have the microphone here. I got the Shaun Cassidy hair. I'm just waiting for you, man, because I'm just picturing you with that microphone. I'm laughing. I had to get it out there. It's an impulse. I'm sorry.
Yeah. My mom was the Shaun Cassidy fan. To be honest, I'm not even sure what he was. I think he might have been a singer or an actor.
Yeah,
but
he was. But
I was too young to. I think by the time I was old enough to care, he was long gone.
But here's the thing: like you talk about Shaun Cassidy, then every time I think of Cassidy, I think of his brother because his brother was in the Partridge Family, Shaun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I know more of him than Shaun Cassidy.
Hey, man, if you get Danny Bonaducci just going buck wild on celebrity boxing, knocking out friggin' Greg Brady, and just seeing that Breaking Bonaducci reality series, that's the thing. It's so amazing because of what Danny Bonaducci did after the Partridge Family, what he got talked about. It kind of almost overshadowed friggin' David Cassidy because Danny Bonaducci was so out of his mind.
I got to meet Danny when I was at Playboy TV.
Nice.
I was doing a show called The Boy Next Door, which was actually the #1 rated show on Playboy at the time. And the main character, we booked him to do Danny's show, along with a couple porn stars. And so I got to meet him. He was actually a really nice guy.
That's the thing about him, too, is, like, he plays, like, that nut very well, but he's cool, like you so eloquently stated. Like, I remember as a kid, like, he did, Celebrity Championship Wrestling. I know he was involved with that, but he did, like, one match in professional wrestling in TNA, Total Nonstop Action at the time. I thought that was cool because I know he has that background, and like I mentioned, he did celebrity boxing, which, by the way, god dang, man, speaking of celebrity boxing, what is up with, like, we got Aaron Carter and Lamar Odom, we got Floyd Mayweather against this friggin' Jake Paul. I was talking with Bella with this, like, what is going on in the world, man? Because we got these YouTubers and we got these people doing this stuff. Oh.
Yeah, and it's making money like crazy.
It is.
And as long as you keep giving them money, they'll keep doing it.
That is very true, but I'm just waiting for Floyd.
Don't encourage them and they'll stop, but the money's just crazy right now.
Agreed, and I'm going to say this right now. I can't wait for Floyd Mayweather to knock him out. I'm to that point. You know what I'm saying? I know what they're trying to do to hype it up, but god dang, man, I'm just ready for Floyd to make that money and get that money. That's what I'm saying, Shaun.
Well, and I can give you a little bit of a scoop right here.
Hit me.
Mayweather's brother has asked to be a celebrity judge at either the Vegas event or one of the Mexico events.
That is awesome. Bring him in. Bring Floyd Mayweather's brother in. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be kind of cool.
That's the thing.
Our celebrity judges are getting more and more celebrity all the time.
By the way, I got to say this because after you announced Whoop Dog for the first one with the LFC at the last one, that dude, besides his song for Selena, he's got some good music.
Yeah, no, he's got that's why we were excited to get him, and like I'll listen to the music, and if the music doesn't speak to me, then I'm not really all that interested. But yeah, I checked out his music, and it's like, hey, this guy's pretty good. This is cool. I like this. I'll play it for my son, and he'll often, if he thinks it's cool, it's usually cool. Matter of fact, we just one of the fighters happened to be contacted by now I'm of course forgetting the name, but a fantastic rapper, up and coming rapper who, and I showed that to my son. Oh my God, I was just listening to this. This guy's amazing.
I gotta say, if WWE can bring in people like Bad Bunny and Logan Paul, we could bring in some Whoop Dog.
Oh yeah. Bear with me a second. I'm going to look up who the hell it is.
See, that's going to bug me too now because the
name is. It's pissing me off that I don't remember his name because I do like his music.
See, folks, this is what happens when we're just talking about boxing families and everybody that's involved with the Mayweather family, because I know who you're talking about with his brother, and that's going to bug me because I can picture his face, but I can't picture the name. But I know who you're talking about, which is cool, because you got anyone in the Mayweather family involved with just anything that we do. I think it's awesome. And I mean, we've seen a lot of great judges in the past, like we talked about Trap. And first and foremost, badass with Onyx, Bronco Bully, because I got to say, what I love about Onyx is she's so upfront, she's so energetic, and she is a tough lady.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's an exciting time with LFC. And while Shaun looks up what the fight,
you ready for the name?
Hit me.
Jordy Kiefer.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah.
Check out Jordy Kiefer.
Yes.
If you haven't heard his music, Google him. Fantastic. It's cool. It reminds me of early Eminem, where it's just oh man, I haven't heard that kind of sound before.
All right, so for those who want a mental picture of this son of a gun, he's got dreadlocks, and he's not bad though. I mean, he has a song called Red Line. All right, as I'm looking at this,
that's the song we're going to use. That song is amazing.
All right, so for those who are not familiar, I'm going to put the link in the description because I'm looking at this son of a gun, and I can't wait to listen to it in my own right. Jordy Kiefer, Red Line.
Red Line, super cool song.
That's what I'm saying. First and foremost, man, you're talking about your son. I like the way that you put that, because if he thinks it's cool, it must be cool. I like that, man. See? You're getting your taste from your son. That's what I'm saying there, Shaun?
It's to, hit different age groups, right?
Yes.
If it was up to me, we'd be nothing but April wine. And, every now and then you got to have some stuff for other people.
Oh, it's amazing, too, because we were talking about Jeff Timmons on one of them, the dude from 98 Degrees. And I'm like, Shaun, some good 98 Degree songs. And you're like, well, no. And then I had to have you get to the CD. I'm like, and how badass is Jeff Timmons with 98 Degrees? I know it's the pop genre for you, Shaun, but they got some good music. I said, trust me, man. Trust me. I grew up in the 90s. I got your back.
Not my type of music, but I know Jeff, and he's a great guy, so I won't tell him it's not my type of music. Although I think he knows, looking at me, it's not my type of music because I was never a teenage girl.
First and foremost, wow, bro, wow, you just gonna put it like that, Shaun. The reason why I laugh is because let me tell you something, you son of a gun. There are some dudes that do like them some 98 Degrees. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with it.
I'll take your word for it, man. I don't know.
I was about to say, Shaun, you about to say something right now? You about to start something right on this show, Mister? I'm not a teenage girl. Oh. Friggin' just hitting at my heartstrings, man. It's the days of J14, Shaun. It's the days of J14, which still is in existence, but it's not the same. Anyway, before I go buck wild on you, Mr. Shaun Donnelly, couple final things before we close this out. Whew, we have a lot of stuff coming with Glow. We got LFC August 12th, 13th, and 14th. We got Mexico. It is an amazing year for LFC. I look forward to seeing what the future holds and what we see to flourish with LFC. But god dang, man, do we have anything else? What are we looking towards even after Mexico? Because, Shaun, these couple months are like boom, 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 boom. What do we got looking forward to? What can we look forward to, next after Mexico?
Well, not sure yet what will follow Mexico. We get contacted all the times and offered cool sort of things. Around Mexico, we're actually working on NFTs. So we've got a lot of really cool stuff. But you've got some cool stuff coming up, too, because you've got a big milestone coming up pretty quick.
I do. We got the 100th episode coming up of LFC, and it will feature on the LFC podcast Jolene the Valkyrie Hex talking about her bout with Shelby. What we got coming on, there's a funny Mexico story that's going to be in there as well. It's what Jolene and I do, man. It's our ADD. We go all over the place, and it's always fun, and it's always laughs with Jolene. So stay tuned when that comes out for episode 100, man. I got to say,
yeah,
Shaun.
Well, as offended as I was not to be invited to be the 100th guest, I think Jolene was a good choice.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you, first and foremost, when it comes to Jolene, she's always a funny interview, and she's always very vibrant. But I look at it from a stance, too, when it comes to Jolene. Can you really ask for anybody better than Jolene the Valkyrie Hex, the European champion?
No, I'm really excited to. We're actually going to be renting a van in Vegas, 12-passenger van, and driving over to Sturgis with a lot of the Vegas cast and crew. And one of the cast that have already signed up for her seat on the van is Jolene Hex.
That's how she rolls. She's very efficient, though, too. She's very efficient. She's just like, well, here's the funny part, because you'll hear it when the show comes out. I'm asking her about the fight. She goes, well, I was backstage. For what I saw of it, it was cool, and we had some laughs about it, but still. She's one of those, she's like, get in, do my fight, boom, go to the back. She's all business. She's all business when she gets in there, man.
Yeah, no, she is, and she does her business very well.
That she does, Mr. Shaun Donnelly. Now, be on the lookout for that with the 100th episode. And like I said, from starting this about a year and a half ago, we've had a lot of great guests, including yourself, Shaun, a lot of the fans, and a lot of great talent that are among the LFC auspices. So here's to 100 more, Mr. Shaun Donnelly.
Well, it's congratulations to yourself. I mean, it's this is all about your hard work and talent, and it's quite an accomplishment to get 100 episodes of anything. You have officially surpassed the LFC reality series. I think we're on episode 80 there. So you've hit 100 before we did. And, it's been, I'm sure if I haven't heard all 96 episodes that have gone before, I've probably heard 94 of them. And, it's been consistently a great project.
Thank you, sir. I truly appreciate that. Coming from you, that's awesome. Even though you want to make fun of the fact that only teenage girls listen to boy bands, you son of a gun. Anyway.
I'm pretty sure Jeff Timmons told me that himself.
Hey, man, I'm just saying. Sometimes Jeff may exaggerate the truth, and I love you, Jeff Timmons. But god dang, man, it's one of those things where I look at it from a stance as well, moving aside from boy bands. I wanted to ask you one more thing in regards to Sturgis, because we did see her at the last Sturgis. Brooke the Guillotine Gilly got that win over Susie Stiletto Quinn. We got to see some more Brooke back for Sturgis, because it's Brooke Gilly.
Well, it is. I can tell you that it's also Brooke who brought in Kiefer. So that's the fighter who's coming out to Redline.
Oh my goodness,
Brooke will be there. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the matchup, at least in one of the fights, will be Brooke and Shelby. We're going to represent Sturgis all the way.
That's how you got to do it. And I'm going to say that's going to be a clash for the ages. And for those who are going to tune in, go to LFC.com, LoungeRFC.com, and check out LFC Sturgis. We go in 12th, we go in 13th, we go in 14th. It's the Sturgis Experience. And before we close this... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm really actually looking forward to seeing Brooke. And based on listening to her episode with you, I want to see what changes she makes for, you remember her saying, she thought her entrance was fine until she saw Lauren's entrance and then realized, oh my God, there's a whole other level I could be reaching here.
Well, yeah, I even said, you did like the generic entrance. It wasn't bad, but it's just like Lauren has the scream, and it's like the roar, and then here you are just like, oh, I'm here, so...
Well, and now, her second time at these events, I think it'll be a different, a whole different experience for her, and, she'll come in with a lot more confidence. I mean, obviously she was confident and won her fight, but I think she was just so focused on the fight and winning the fight that she just didn't, she didn't have time for all the other stuff. I think this time she'll have a little more time for, making a big entrance and, maybe showing off her personality a lot, because she's a big personality.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, all of them are. When it comes to Sturgis, I mean, they're coming out on the bikes again, and, I mean, they're going to make a hell of an entrance.
Yeah, the bikes are back. We're definitely doing the bikes again, and we'll have an anthem singer, I think, 2 of the 3 nights. Oh. And there is no better place to have an anthem singer than the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally.
Oh, my goodness, man. We are in the vein of so many things when it comes to concerts and professional wrestling. WCW has been in Sturgis. If music and WCW back in the 90s can be there, LFC is going to be there, and we're going to keep taking over for years and years and years. I sound like Barry White right now, but years and years and years. So, Shaun, I'm going to say this. I am so excited. I'm smiling from ear to ear. You're smiling from ear to ear. It's a joyous occasion. Please promote LFC, LingerieFC.com, where everybody can check out Sturgis. The floor is yours, sir. The floor is yours.
Yeah, LingerieFC.com is the site. It'll take you to all our social media. You can find more information on the Sturgis Buffalo Chip. They've got some great concerts there. I believe on the nights we're there, I know it's Shinedown and POD. On the 11th is ZZ Top. That's, I'm hoping to get in early enough or not be too busy on the 11th so I can actually go and check out ZZ Top. And then, of course, our show's 6 o'clock each night, and the pay-per-view $24.99 at our site.
All right, links will be in the description. All right, since you got to bring that up, man. And I figured once you said ZZ Top, I'm like, yep, she's got legs. She knows how to use them. I know about your style with your ZZ Top, Shaun. But are you familiar with Shinedown and POD? Are you fans of the Shinedown and the POD?
Yeah, fans of both. So excited about that. Kid Rock's on, I think, the 8th. Fan of his as well. We're going to try. No guarantee it'll work, but we're going to try to get one of the boys from ZZ Top as a celebrity judge. Whether or not they're still around on the 12th or whether they roll out that night, who knows?
All right. Now I'm going to ask you because, again, more of my era, but Shinedown and POD. What are some of your favorite Shinedown and POD songs? I want to put you on the spizot with that.
Well, POD, Boom is,
yeah.
That's a great song. I don't have a lot of Shinedown. I have, that monster hit they had. I have that in my iTunes. But, the problem I have is I have so many songs. I think I have 15,000 songs on my iTunes.
Wow. Okay.
So I get to Shinedown about once every 4 years.
Okay, so for me, how I grew up with Shinedown, the mid 2000s, they had that song "Save Me" and "I Dare You," and they had "Sometimes Goodbye Is a Second Chance." That was
that's the one.
Okay. And yeah, POD I grew up with We in the South Town, and Here Comes the Boom, and I Feel So Alive, The Youth of the Nation, and the whole 9 there. Mm-hmm. Yep, okay, all right.
Yeah, I got a couple of their albums on my iTunes. So.
Man, go back and listen to POD Satellite, listen to some ZZ Top, listen to some Shinedown. We're giving you that good music right here, and it makes me feel good. I know it makes you feel good with your over 1,000 iTunes. Man, well, how much is a mixture?
15,000.
15,000, excuse me. But,
Yeah, no, I have a huge CD collection. Of course, I burned it all. Once everything went digital, I burned it all to iTunes and then bought a ton of music on iTunes, which, of course, my son always says I should have just signed up for iTunes Plus or whatever, where you just get to listen to everything for one fee. Mm-hmm. But that's never the way I do it. I buy everything.
You're old school, man. You're old school. You rep it.
I am old school.
You rep it. But, I was about to say with your iTunes, how much of that is your son's on your iTunes as well?
Well, he's turned me on to a lot of things that I swore I'd never do, like Netflix. I have 2,000 DVDs in my collection.
Jesus!
So Netflix just seemed like, kind of making fun of my collection. But then we got watching that stupid Tiger King and then other Netflix series. So now I'm pretty much hooked, and now I have Amazon Prime and. So, yeah, we're watching it all.
I was just going to say before we even close out. So, do you think she did it? Did she feed him to the tiger, Shaun?
Oh, without a doubt.
See? See?
It's pretty funny that that's become like a joke.
Carol Baskin. First and foremost, here's the thing about her, and we'll close this out after this one thing, but god dang, man, when it comes to Carol Baskin, she does, I believe, care about, the cats and everything right there. She, kill cats and kittens. I believe she does care, but she is a creepy woman. Very hippie style, but she just seems kind of off to me, you know what I'm saying? That's why, in a way, looking at her style and overall movements and her vibe, I'm kind of like, yeah, I think she might have fed him to the tigers.
Yeah, And it's funny, her name came up recently around LFC.
What?
And it was a shareholder who had contacted me and said, Carol Baskin, she got hired for like $450 and she tweeted about a stock. And the stock went up. You guys should do that. And I was like, I think Carol Baskin would probably be the last thing in the world I want associated with lingerie fighting championships. So we're probably not doing that.
Yeah. What's a more polite way of saying no? No.
Well, yeah, every now and then it's like infamous, right? Like we get contacted by infamous. I remember back when I was doing that show that I was telling you about for Playboy TV, Amy Fisher's agent contacted me, wanting to know if we wanted to cast Amy Fisher on the show. And I said, what the hell would she do? And we got talking, and immediately the deal was dead because we weren't allowed to reference anything about what she did. Mm-hmm. And that was the only thing that I thought would be funny is, I was going to have her dating the main character, and every time she rings the doorbell, he ducks.
Okay, you see, that's comedy gold right there.
That would have been funny, but, oh, God, no, we couldn't do that. So it's like, well, then she's of no use to us at all.
You know what it is too? Funny story about Amy Fisher. I remember early in my podcasting career for the On the Mic with Mike show that I do outside of LFC, I originally wanted to reach out to her, but my conscience kicked in because I'm like, all right, like I know she had like that sex tape with her husband, and I know she did adult work, and I know that she like went into journalism. She like had a weird field like after everything that happened, but I'm like, as someone who's from Long Island, like, how can you not talk about this? And I'm like, I don't know. I just felt dirty because I'm like, this woman shot another woman in the face. Now, mind you, the woman lived, but I'm like, I don't know. I kind of feel dirty. But yeah, that my conscience was kicking in, Shaun. My conscience was kicking in.
Either you go one way or the other. Like if you want to never talk about that thing again, then you lead a quiet life. You change your name. Yeah. And you just go about being a good member of society, working in wherever, become a nurse or something. But if you're trying to become an actor or become, a porn star, become something based on nothing but the fact that you shot someone in the face, then you got to talk about that.
Absolutely.
You got to own it. You got to, you got to come on and let our main character duck every time you ring the doorbell.
It still would have been so good.
There were lots of things that we tried to put together for that show that, that was a crazy show.
Fucking people. I don't mean to curse like that, but fucking people. You got comedy gold and you just, Anyway, lighter note, guys, check out LFC, LaundryFC.com, Sturgis, and everything that's coming to fruition. You don't duck when it comes to LaundryFC.com. Get on there. You don't duck. So, for Mr. Shaun Donnelly, my name is Mike Larkin. Thank you for listening to episode 97 of the LFC podcast. 3 more to 100. Keep on listening wherever you get your audio platforms. Stitcher, LaundryFC.com, TuneIn Radio, Anchor, iHeartRadio, WrestlingWithWrestling.com. We're here, we're there, we're everywhere, and it's a lovely, lovely, lovely thing to do each and every time that I get to do this show and speak with you, Shaun, even though you don't want to give me a chugga woo for the LFC train. That disappoints me, but hey, I'm doing it for you. Choo-choo. For Shaun Donnelly, my name is Mike Larkin. Shaun, thanks as always for your time. It's most gradually appreciated.
Thank you, Mike. Always a pleasure.
All right, guys. See you in the next episode.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.